Hello, my dear ones. It is a deep pleasure to always spend time with you. And I want you guys to be proud of yourselves. You have done incredible work out there. You guys are helping so many people. I'm hearing the stories. As I've said, some of you, Shane, you've got some real tough cases you're taking on. And you guys are just plowing right through them, fixing them. You know, I've been working real hard here the last few weeks. That's why I'm kind of fading away. I'm not fading away, bro. But I've been tired. I don't get to bed till about 3:30 every night, guys. And I'm up at 6:30 with a little Chihuahua Chipurky dog that wants to play. And so I don't have a lot of rest. But, you know, sometimes we're so busy here and everything's going that it just feels like you're fading away, that's for sure. But thanks, my friend. I could always use that little kick in the butt. But there are so many serious cases out there. Sometimes it's just overwhelming how much trouble people are in and how many people are hurting. I can see why it's just become a major part of the industry, of financial industry, with so many people sick, and I can see the games that they play with that, you know. But I'm trying to think. I got some tapes in. Was pretty good. I don't know where these are, but I forgot. Probably forgot it at home, but I wanted to show you that tape. It seems there's more and more raw foodists, more and more detoxifiers, more and more people going out, creating their own businesses and helping others. That is respectful, because you know what? This country is out of manufacturing. You know that's not going to ever happen in the U.S. too much, because it's just not going to be there. We have to change. And I think that the world is in serious need of you guys. Serious need of you guys. Now listen, I want to talk a little bit here about your process in this journey, because there are times where you can get ratted out. And if you feel that way, then balance out with some vegetables or some steamed vegetables or something like this. And I said this the other day on a tape. And it didn't mean it to be insultive, but it's just that we have people that reach a point where you have to help them emotionally, because you guys are the spiritual souls. You're the ones that are awakening. Some of you were sent here to do this. A lot of you are ending up all your journeys in these lower worlds, and it's time for you to go to the higher worlds. So there's a lot of you that are advanced, and I don't want to use that in terms of better than, not meaning that at all, but just time to awaken. And there's so many of you here to do that, and this is just so much of you, and there's help on the way even more. I've had experiences where we as the multitudes are coming to this place and this whole universe, so it's exciting. You know, there's just so many things that are opening up. It'd be interesting to see how this world changes here in the next several years. But I want you to remember that you have physical detox, you have emotional detox, and you have mental detox, and actually you have ego detox. So you have about 5 bodies that we use simultaneously. It's like when you use your mind, physical sciences, the problem with scientists and politicians, a great many of them lack spirituality. So they see calcium, They're very mundane and very boxed. But as one's awakening, more answers start flooding in, because now instead of focusing your attention, you've quieted the attention down and you've made it available to where all the answers can come into you. Your spiritual guide can talk to you more, because now you're listening instead of talking. And that's the best advice I can tell you, is start listening instead of talking. Now, some of you have got to get out there and start talking. I have to say, probably tens of thousands of lectures and seminars. And I mean, I've had 45 years, and in the first 20 years, every day of my life was either a class, a seminar, or in some way involved in teaching others. 7 days a week for at least the first 20 years. And so it was a lot of work. So there's been a lot of work put in all this stuff that I'm giving you guys. A lot of years, a lot of looking, a lot of questions, a lot of research. I've done a lot of this stuff. So when I see something that doesn't work, I'm going to pass it on to you. You can try it, but there's some things you just don't want to try when you're really advanced in your problems. There's just some things you don't want to spin. And we were talking about blue-green algae the other day, and there's something else come up with that really bad. I forgot what it was. I was going to pass it on to you, but you know, food is food. I think the biggest problem man has made is that he's fixated on nutrition in the blood. And yet, over on this side, we have a sewer/immune/lipid carrier system that's much, did I say that 3 times to 4 times bigger than the blood system. So, due respect must be, and due attention must be shifted over to the lymph, because when the blood gets tainted, we look to the lymph system to clean it up. You can clean the blood up with, herbs, and then, of course, fruits and berries. Get that perfect pH balance in the blood with all the good flavonoids and everything. So, that's good enough. You got to go in and fix the amount of mucus, the amount of obstructions this has caused, the weaknesses that the high protein diets have caused. We have to go in and straighten out all these things. And so, luckily, foods do so much, but the herbs, they're so special. They're tissue specific. They're just so special. So when you bring those two together in a scenario of cleansing and rebuilding the human body, that's as simple as you need to get. And there's not too many conditions that you can't turn around. I haven't seen any conditions you haven't been able to turn around. Sometimes I think of the poor souls, it's time to go, and get off the planet, and they just couldn't make it. But it sure hadn't been very many, where 6 out of 100 survive chemo, 6 out of 100 we can't save. So our stats are totally turned the other way. 94% of the people that have cancers and things like that, meaning a high level of acidosis and a extremely big burn back to the body, you can get 95% of those. So you are going to have some cases that are it's unwinnable. They've just waited too long, went too far, things like this. But you still never stop, and you never want to judge that, because I've seen cases that I looked at them myself and went, oh, there's no way I can get this one, and sure enough, I got them. I mean, you can't judge anything, and you don't want to, because as soon as you do, you've lost your divine channeling, and now you're channeling. The little you is channeling into images and thoughts that your ego wants. And that's not how you're a good healer. A good healer is open every moment to the present moment, so the God force can flow through and into your clients. And you teach your clients how to get their own God flow. And then it just keeps going and going, pass it on type of thing, or pass it back, however you wish to look at that. And it's just tremendous what you guys are doing, but I knew you would. I mean, this is all in the divine plan, guys. So, due respect. I was looking at this, the story of a recently gone viral. Please, would you kindly acknowledge and provide? I know Hildy, I think this morning, was telling me that there's also an 8-year-old girl with psoriasis, not psoriasis, it was eczema head to toe. Took them 6 months to get rid of it. A girl that young, you should be able to cut that time in half if you're smart and you do it right. I've had psoriasis. I had a 17-year-old girl, psoriasis literally head to toe. And I think I've mentioned her to you before. So bad that she could never hide because everywhere she walked, she left a path of skin. And then, of course, whenever she would move her limbs, she would crack and bleed, split and bleed. She was that dehydrated, that impacted, and head to toe. 3 months later, I had it all gone, but in the fingertips. And those working with psoriasis will know what I mean about the fingertips. So it's just, everything is curable. Not diseases. Diseases aren't curable because they really don't exist. They only exist in the mind of medical doctors and those willing to accept their idiocy. You want real time. You want real truth in your life. You want reality. And reality at this level is chemistry and physics. And that affects the way all cells function and how they express themselves, whether they give you enough cortisol or not, whether they give you enough mineralocorticosteroids to utilize zinc or iron or whatever. You've got to take a look at the functionability of cells, and that leads you into symptomology. And it's real easy because we know most of the symptoms of every gland, every hormone, that sort of thing. I'm sure there's stuff going on there with the hormones and steroids we're very unaware of. I was shocked to see how much unawareness a endocrinologist has. It's been to school 15 years. I knew a guy, he didn't like me very well because I was affecting his business, but he'd been to school. He was an osteopathic endocrinologist, been to school for 15 years. Couldn't cure a thing. And it's like, you went to school for 15 years and won hundreds of thousands of dollars in schooling and you can't cure nothing. That's got to be frustrating, Maybe the ego gets so big that it's not frustrating, but it would be frustrating to me. I went to school, I paid all this money, and now I can't help people the way I would like to, and the way I do compromises them even more. And if I haven't learned that after a bunch of cases, then I'm asleep. So, just keep in mind, those cases are not difficult for you guys to win. And if you got a psoriasis or skin case anywhere near the ocean, go throw them in the ocean for a while or give them some saltwater baths. Here's another one. This stuff, when you say fading out, I'm going to say God absorption because that's what I'm trying to every day become more God absorbed, Keep surrendering more, keep letting go more. We all have to do it sometime, But I've got other places to go. Now, if the cancer takes me, can you take my son? I wanted to cry when I read that. I'm almost too sensitive. It saddens me. I need to read this whole thing, but let's say when the doctors told this individual that her cancer had spread, she turned to her nurse with an urgent question: "Can you raise my son if I die?" That's just heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. And that's why we do this. It's cases like that to show mamas you don't have to die and you don't have to submit to chemotherapy and radiation that causes cancer. When are we going to start prosecuting those people that do cancer-causing therapies on you? That's enough to damage your cells, but to do therapies that continue or damage your cells deeper, this is a really sick and dark aging. So it's sad when the children are involved. We have so many children we're dealing with right now with the cancers. It's just sad stuff. Good to report the young man that the father was going to run with him. The young man is still alive, thanks to the father. Thanks to that great father and how he kept pounding after that and kept pounding on the raw foods, even though the court and the hospital said raw foods are bad for you and stuff like this. This father kept going, and now his son is still alive, and now he can get his son. And thanks to what he was able to do for his son. I look at that case and it just throws up. He had to go through like a prison to get to visit his son in the hospital. Guards, armed guards and everything. It's like, what? We are sick on this planet. Sick. The macho ego. And that's what happens when you put too much attention on your mind. You keep accentuating your mind. The ego is the high mind. What we loosely call in psychology is the subconscious or the unconscious mind, you know. And that, of course, is just a higher level of mind, a higher level of awareness. You know, there's a lot in psychology about the conscious mind or the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And so, but it's actually a body you have. It's called the etheric body. And it is the id or the ego. The id, as Miss Carl Jung would say. And so that is your hardest battle, guys, is the ego. And that's your last battle before you reach the now. And that's the id, the ego. And you got to make it, guys. Forget yourselves. It doesn't matter. You'll gain it bigger and better than ever before. Lose the little self, the me, for the us, all, the one. And you're just going to really grow big time. Ooh, this is broken leg iridology question. Dr. M, this is Mike from Japan. Hi, Mike from Japan. You were just in here, weren't you? I wanted to thank you for meeting with my girlfriend and I and for giving us extra time. Love you, man. We are looking forward to opening that clinic in Hawaii. Yeah! Yeah! Mike's opening up with his wife a clinic in Hawaii, guys. Incredible stuff here. And so here are my questions. My best friend back in Florida was in a motorcycle accident about 9 months ago. He broke his femur in 2 places, upper leg, and the same leg in 2 other places. Oh, crap. I hate motorcycle accidents. That hurts. He was in the hospital and the surgeon did wonderful work. Yeah, I'll tell you, when you got a good surgeon, kiss the sky. He has a metal rod running the length of the femur with 2 supports at the top and bottom of the femur drilled into the bone through the marrow. I have turned him on to you and Dr. Arrett since his accident. He had an interesting question, though. Could you detox to the point where your body would start re-correcting the damaged femur and want to get rid of the metal rod? That is an excellent question. The problem with the metal rods, now they're essential to a point, but I don't know if they told you, but you really are going to have your metal rod removed one of these days. Because what will happen to it, it'll start growing at the heads, the tips, it'll start growing a lot of extra bone around that. Because this metal is a base metal that they use and calcium grows on it. The other problem that you have is if you keep that in there and you have another accident, that's problematic. That's seriously problematic. So you don't want to keep a rod in your leg long. Have personal experience with that. So all I can say is that at a certain point in time, you can ask your surgeon, but that rod needs to come out. And oh, absolutely, yes, will your body re-straighten your leg. You stay raw long enough, you get your kidneys filtered, you get your lymph, you get your parathyroid, you get everything up. And I think I've showed you some cases where the body totally realigned its scoliosis, its fractured legs. Oh, this is so cool stuff. And so, absolutely, guys, absolutely. Look at that story on the quad, Roger. It's just unbelievable what I witnessed. And it freaked me out. I didn't know the body had the ability to do something on its own that drastic when it's actually moving its skeletal system overnight and rearranging it. That's beyond, that is so cool that it makes you fall in love deeper with God. It's like whoever this creative intelligence is, whoever, whatever, pretty wild, isn't it? Well, if you keep working in the now, you'll discover who that now is, who that is. I have turned him, okay, let me see here. Yeah, have surgery to get the metal rod removed in the future, absolutely. And remember, he can accelerate his healing with what? Parathyroid and Bones formula. At the same time, he wants to move with some green drinks. I'd be pumping some green drinks. The Bones formula already has kelp in there, so you got plenty of that. But I would start pumping some green drinks, especially with the cilantros, the parsleys, the dandelion greens, the beets. But then you could hit spinaches and anything like that. I was at a loss for this question. Well, you have to have experience with that. That's why. But I can tell you that you've got to get those rods out someday because you don't want to have another accident with a rod in your leg. That would be a serious problem for the surgeon, as he should have told you that. And, you can get some on your hip up here where they went down in there. You can get a big growth on there, bone and stuff. I've seen it in people. So that just come out sometime when all that heals up, unfortunately. Number 2 on the iridology chart is plain to see that the adrenal gland sits on top of the kidney. Yep. And how they function in tandem. Yeah, so when your adrenals are down, you pretty much can go, well, my kidneys are probably down too. And now you would be far from wrong. And that's where we're all having problems. Because the emotional state, I never did finish this up. Forgive me, I'll finish it up after this letter. I've got so many things going right now. But I think the class level 2 is looking so good. Okay. Let me see here. I was wondering the connection. Okay, let's put it this way. I was wondering the connection that the pancreas has to the ovaries and testes, since the pancreas sits on top. Huh? I have been thinking about this forever, and I forgot to ask you when I visited you in August. Mike, pancreas to ovaries and testes. You got me on that one. Haven't got a clue. I mean, the pancreas is up here, and they're way down here. Well, I mean, the man side is. The females are a little closer to the pancreas, but I wouldn't know where there would be any connection directly to any steroid there. FSH, no, I can't think of anything pancreatically there. Testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, I can't think of anything there. So I don't know, man. Let me know if you find out of a connection between those gonadals and the pancreas. Can't say. I don't know. I want to go back and finish this because some of you are entering a higher level of detox, and not physical anymore, emotional. And your clients or yourself could just break, especially if the blood pressures are real low. Remember, that's all your anxieties. That's your autonomic nervous system. That's your happiness, your feelings. And so when things don't work out the way you want them, or you're the one you put your emotions into in terms of your love, or something blows back on you, then down goes the adrenals. That's why you have to almost get to a point, guys, of talk to the hand, the face isn't listening syndrome, because because a lot of you are building your reputations now, and fine reputations they are. And that's what I love. You guys are going to build some great reputations of actually people can find someone can help them. And you're already seeing how beautiful that is, because people are just frustrated. There's nowhere to go. So you guys are really sit here perfectly. Now, emotional detox is where all these things from the past start coming. And I'll use the word karma, but for you Christians and things, don't freak out with that. This is Jesus reap what you sow. In science, it's for every action there's an opposite and an equal reaction. Eye for an eye, that sort of thing. You have to realize that if you think about it, if you set up your universe, you have to have a way that everyone is treated the same. You don't want a creative entity, a deity, to say, I like you, but I don't like you. You don't want that sort of thing. That's creation. That's not God, because it would be saying it to itself. So it's just that we all take different roads and different pathways, but each are the eye of the tiger, the eye of the Supreme One, the eye of the creative force. Soul is the eye of God. You are the eye of God. Who else would be? You can't take an infinite being and make it finite. So you're the channel. You're the one, like it or not. And I think some of you need to accept your divinity. Some of you are still shying away from your divinity. Not from an ego viewpoint, just from an energetic viewpoint. You all are beautiful beings. Accept that. Our bodies get out of shape and this and that, okay. Because you're down here for experience. You taste this, you taste that. You know what I'm saying? But now you're entering a higher level, and this world needs a little higher level. Karma's still working itself off, but you still have to work off yours. And if you want to get higher into the God worlds, stop creating. Don't care. Doesn't matter. Souls will come to you. You can help them. You're a way shower. Show them the way. But don't walk for them. Let your clients do their walking themselves. Because no true master takes on your karma for you. No true master walks the path for you. Why would they? You'll never learn anything. You'll never awaken or grow. You're always listening to words. Action speaks louder than words. Remember that old saying? So that's why I say, you can think, you can talk about things, but pull yourself into it, and experience it, that sort of thing. So you're going to have these emotional releases. Let them go. I don't care what happened to you in your past, in this lifetime or the last. Let it all go. Doesn't matter anymore. You're right here, right now, and that freedom is offered to you in every moment. Every moment of your life, you can have total freedom. The framers of the Constitution for the United States of America tried to display that in law. And you can see that souls down here just can't stand freedom. They got to cage themselves, lock themselves, set them up. But that's the mind. And souls have no idea. People are just being victims of this. This is from a much higher level. You also have past life work off. You have the causal world. You have future and past. And all your experiences from the past are going to burn themselves off. And let them burn off. When it comes to the ego, don't care. Who cares? You're already perfect. You don't need to. You don't need to be better than anybody else. None of us do, because we're all from the same source. We're all the eye of the tiger, so who cares? No one's better than another. We're here with our love to help support and help those souls that are stuck and that have problems and are asking for help. You got clients that don't want to do a program, who cares? That's that soul locking itself deeper into Hellville. Well, they'll come out one day, but you are setting up their future because you're opening them up by feeding them truth. And by feeding them truth, you're slowly awakening the sleeping. And you might not see it in your lifetime, or you might see it from a year from now. Your friend comes up, gives you a hug and says, thanks. That one thing you said opened me right up. I've had that, people tell me that all the time. And that's why when you're working, be a channel. Don't think what you want to say, because you guys already know it. Keep it simple to where you're not sitting there like a medical doctor reading his lecture. I've seen very few medical doctors talk their lecture. They read it. You want to know your subject and be able to dissertate it, walking up to anything at any moment. Yeah, you want to know health? And then get into it. Take it off. That's why I say, go have fun talking to the birds, talking to the dogs, talking to the horses. Give them a little lecture on health. Maybe the next few lifetimes down the road, they'll remember that. Because you're not talking to unconsciousness. You're talking to very awake beings, and that includes horses, cows, doggies. Always let things go, because things do not matter. Creation is just drama. If you carry drama around, there's only one person that suffers. I have herpes type 2. I am wondering what formulas that you recommend. Also, I suffer from anxiety and low energy. All right, let's stop right at that first sentence. First of all herpes, of course, is a detoxification syndrome, and I just did it on the last few videos, and I do apologize for the long 3-hour video. Because we had to take out that one video off and take out a little segment, which was nothing to it, in my opinion, but we took out a little segment for someone. And so now we had to put all that back up. It took 8 hours to take that up in the first place, and then, of course, another 8 to reload it. So a lot of work. And so Chris didn't have the time to categorize the others, so I deeply, humbly apologize to you. Got a lot of good stuff, I hope, in there for you. But unfortunately, it's going to be another long video. I'm going to cut this one off kind of short because I don't want to keep doing long videos for you. I know how you guys don't like that, but I'm trying. I'm just so far behind. But I think a lot of this message should lay on all of you, because when you have a problem, the first thing that nature does is clean your butt out, and that's just what you got to do. Even in a cold and flu-like symptom, nature expectorates. Throwing up, diarrhea, sweating, all of that, sneezing, all of these things are an effort to eliminate something. And when we use the word toxemia, all kinds of visions come in, and it is true we are bringing a lot of toxins in from our foods, but most of these toxins are simply proteins, which another word for that is acids. Now, one of the problems when you see viral loads is the terrain or the culturing medium for which we're dealing with. That is the universal question. How is your terrain? Because let's go back to the plague, and let's go back to polio. Let's go back to all these sort of issues. And let's submit that it's an unvaccinated polios, because most polios after a while become vaccinated polios. Polio went up 600, what was it that Dr. Walling said, what's his name, Dr. Can't remember his last name, but anyway, emerging virus, Horowitz, you know, and how polio went up 680 some percent. You know, I just, I mean, there's so many lies and so much misinformation. It's just sick. It's sickening here. This world needs to learn to stand on the pillars of truth. Nothing is wrong with truth. Everything always works better. And people get along. You have to learn to accept the truth. So anyway, viral loads must be detoxified out of the body. If I move forward and I see anxiety, what did I just talk about caused anxiety? Adrenal glands. Move forward one more, low energy. Which gland is most notorious for that? Adrenal glands. So, adrenal gland sits on top of kidneys. So when the adrenals are weak, we just talked about that, the kidneys go weak and you lose your filtration. So you would then begin to develop a culturing medium or a lymphatic stagnation in the body where acid sewage would be building up. And it's a perfect scenario for virals, because virals are, most of them are proteolytics. They're acidic. So that's the one thing. Got to clean your lymphatic system out. I know we keep drilling on the lymphatic system, but I have spent all my life looking at all the systems of the human body, and that's the one that is always raising its ugly little head. Yeah, I'm considering doing a detox program. If I do not do all berries and melons and use the formulas that I need, is it kind of a lost cause? Never. I'll say this. If you're going to do no raw and you're going to do a few herbs, why waste your time? You know, you've got to do the diet, some percent of that. You can't continue to consume dead animals and beans and grains and cheeses and all these things and never get well, because you never will get well. And those that are doing it that feel well won't feel well as they get older, because that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a world of people who eat this. And take a look at what's happening to everybody. So anybody that comes up with any kind of nonsense that this is good or this is the way we should eat, they just have no awareness of that. I was thinking of doing the detox with berries, green juices, and some steamed salad and veggies. You mean salad and steamed veggies. Okay, I'll buy into that. I'll buy into that if you'll do fruits, berries, and melons and a green drink or something in there all day long in your salad at night with a little steamed veggies on the side. I'll buy into that. And do the herbs, you'll do well. You'll do really well and you'll kick butt. For those that are not heavily involved, like with chronic issues, that's a perfect way to be. But a lot of people have chronic problems, and that's, you know, you have to get rid of the cooked and chronic and degenerative problems. You really need to be 100% raw. There's just a level of that. Try this. Do 100% raw and then just go out and have you a cooked meal. Do 100% raw for a week, and go out and then have you on Sunday or something. Go ahead and have a Sunday meal somewhere, some restaurant, just a typical meal. See what your body tells you. We were talking that with some of you guys, and it's like most of you already know. It kicks your butt. I can read this now on YouTube, and I think I can mention the name. But I got two names. Oh, I mentioned her stage name, Scarlett. I like that name though, Scarlett. I sometimes experience burning after eating fruit. All right. Now, this is a common experience out there with people that have over-acidic stomachs and very weak stomachs. So it isn't the fruit that burns, but it's your stomach. The problem isn't the fruit. The problem is your stomach. Now, with that said, let's back up a minute and let me say, if you're doing pineapples out of stores, kiwis, things like this that are never picked, even close to ripe, yeah, that's even going to affect your teeth. These are acid fruits that only acid fruits, but the way we pick them, and even the way we grow them with our Monsanto fertilizer things. So you can take the stomach tea, the heel oil tea, any of those teas, and quiet everything down. You want to be on the stomach and bowel, whatever, and start cleaning yourself. And I think you're already on our program, I think, the way this is. But you want to take care of your GI tract, because when you experience a blowback from fruit, the problem isn't with the fruit. If it's ripe and it's good, the problem is with your body. And you have to look at that, because fruit will make your weaknesses stand up and let you know they're there. Fruit is active, powerful, much more than veggies. And so you see that. I've had it prior to my 14-week protocol, but the frequency intensity kept increasing as I progressed through the program. That's and you're on the stomach and bowel program. You know what? If fruits are just too gnarly, you might want to go down to the sweet or subacid fruits. Maybe do more apples, or mix apples with grapes. I'd stay away from the lemons, the oranges, and things until you get all that acid out of your gut, and just back up a little bit and do maybe your pears, your peaches, your apples, your mangoes, more softer, more gentle, but still detoxifying fruit. I like those better. You could go into the sweets a little bit, of course, the figs, the dates, the bananas, the watermelons, of course, the cantaloupes, the honeydews, the papayas. Those are always good. How does berries do on your stomach? I would think they would be more intense than the fruit. But what's your fruit that you're using? Because the sad state of affairs in America, at least, and I know in some of the other, in Britain's the same way, sad state of affairs when it comes to food in terms of good fruit and stuff, you know. As I progress through the program, I've called this pain, fruit burn in the past, because it occurs after fruit consumption. Here are the details. I wish I had your eyes, sweetheart. I don't have your eyes in front of me. They should have done that so I could talk to you about your... Hey, Jenny?
Yeah.
You know this individual that has the name Scarlett as a road name?
Yeah.
Do we have her chart? She's on our 14-week program. I'm looking for her eyes.
Her eyes? Oh, I can get you her eyes.
Can you? Do you know her name?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to mention it.
Okay, good. I'll
Get in trouble again.
I'll be right back.
Okay, honey, thanks.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Scarlett, I'm going to have Jen B pull your chart here. Let's see if your eyes are in there, and I'll take a look and see what we're up against. It usually occurs about 1/2 hour after eating the fruit. How interesting. Well, you know what that tells me now? That you might have a little stomach acid involved here, and you might have a real acidic stomach there, and you're feeling the astringent value of the fruit. That's what that tells me. And especially watermelon. And a watermelon, believe it or not, is a very aggressive melon. It's hard to believe that something as simple and as sweet and as nice as watermelon, extremely aggressive. So, yeah, I can see where that happens. It lasts for about 1/2 hour. So what you're doing, you're either pulling acids out of the interstitial areas of the gut, you're affecting the mucosa, or your mucosa is really inflamed, you know, and you're really getting that burn back from the acids. The fruit wouldn't give you a burn back like that, unless it's an acid fruit that just never ripened properly, you know, like a pineapple. Radiating pain begins in the upper center of my back and travels up my head and down my arms and around to my front torso. So now we're talking about your stomach. Oh, yes. Oh, say no more. Wow. Wow. Can I show these on YouTube?
I think you
There's
have
no
these-
name on them.
No, on just her name on the back, and you have before.
Oh, I won't show the name. I won't show the back then.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the right. Here's her answers right here.
Yeah, you can show them. You've shown them before.
Oh,
so.
wow. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to piss anybody off.
No, you're okay. She's fine.
Is she?
As long as you use that name. She's
All right,
good.
Scarlet.
She's a sweetheart.
She said I could use Scarlet, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She's a sweetie.
All right. All right. I'm going to show her eye here because this is.
She's going to love it, so don't worry.
Okay, because this, Scarlet, you got some work to do.
Explain
Oh
why.
my God. Scarlet, look at this eye, guys. Thanks, sweetheart. Look at these eyes. Look at that. Scarlet. Me and you got to talk, honey. You see all that? You see all that darkness around your pupil here? That real darkness around the pupil? That's all your GI tract, stomach and bowels. And boy, that's where you're the most chronic, is right around your stomach and bowels. I don't see really any deterioration too much in the stomach, but definitely chronic in that. And look what else. You see this thickness? I hope you can see this. You see this thickness right here? This is the skin on the outer border. You see this thickness right here next to the skin area? That's subcutaneous, right? And lymph nodes right under the skin, and of course hooked to the lymph nodes. Look at the orange color. You see that orange? I'm surprised you're not getting a fibromyalgia, because you have, what color eye is this, guys? What do you think? What color eye? Blue. Blue. And you got so much sulfur built up in your eye, sweetheart. You got it in the sinuses, in your head. You got it in almost every lymph node you got. So you're hurting. And that burn back can be a sulfur burn back. That might be your burn back, but you got chronic bowels. Don't get upset. You got some cleaning to do. Got good genes, positive, great genes. I mean, your nerves are down. You got nerve rings here. Your adrenals, definitely chronic, not very happy, honey. And that's why the nerve rings. So you're low in steroids. So even that's going to be, a little fight for inflammation there. So I'm not surprised you're getting a burn back on that. Not at all. These are chronic bowels, chronic stomach. You've got a lot of sulfur in your body. And this is I hope you're getting that out. I hope you're seeing orange too. As a matter of fact, when they're in the lymph nodes, now she's going to see orange urine. Forget the stools. This is out of the colon or out of the GI tract. This is in the lymph nodes now. So she's going to see some orange urine. But this is really, and look at her left side here. Of course, kidneys always sticking out in people. See that? That's a blue eye, guys. With all that orange, it's heavy sulfur. Now, Scarlet, look it up in the head here. You're thick up in here. You need a good cold and flu-like symptom. What is a cold and flu-like symptom? An expectorating experience, an elimination of the mucus you put in by eating certain foods that are mucus-forming. Or we could just give you something to lock it in there. But you've got to get this out, honey. You got to get this out. I can see why you're burning back. I can understand everything here right now. You got a lot of work to do on your lymph system. Don't get frustrated. You're going to be a little while working it, and you're going to have to work it. Get yourself sweating. Whatever you got to do. Get the thyroid up. Get out in the sun. Go to a sauna. You got to open up your skin passage. And don't be surprised if you see huge rashes or anything coming out on your skin, because right under the skin you're impacted. You're impacted lymphatically, and it just has to come out, and it will. You'll get this, and you'll get it good. But I can see why you're suffering. If you look at these two eyes, you'll see that your right side is draining a lot better. See how you see a little more blue in the right eye than you do this left. It's thicker look. And that, of course, is the lymphatic system. So I can see that. You're getting a neurological blowback, too. From the stomach. This is all autonomic brain here, and of course autonomic goes right back here, and you're feeling it kicking up your spine and going right back to your cerebrum. You're feeling your pathway. But you got chronic bowels, so you're getting burnt. you're getting burnt in the interstitial areas and you're dehydrating interstitial areas. So there's already a fire in you, sweetheart. There's already a fire burning. And the fruit is just going, hello. Dull headaches. Now that I see your eyes, sweetheart, I see everything. I see you're suffering. You got some work to do. Don't give up. Don't think for a minute. You're going to get this body cleaned out. And she's got good genes, guys, but she's got some lymph and a lot of sulfur. She's had antibiotic use, or her mom has. You could take the brain and the nerve formula just to strengthen the myelin sheaths because you have nerve rings. And the problem is your nervous system, that nervous system you're feeling is the autonomic. And it's like sensitive, like this. You know, your myelin, you got all these nerve rings, your myelin sheaths are weak, and so that's a big issue. So you're going to feel that blowback on that. But you also have the chronic bowels and stuff, and it's just highly acidic. And then you got the sulfur, which is a burn. Tingling and numb arms, because you're probably impacted right back here pretty good. You want to use those neurolymphatic points, open up and drain the head area. You need a good, serious cold and flu-like symptom. Serious cold and flu-like symptom. Feel like I might fall down. Feels neurological. Oh yeah, like MS. Oh yeah, that's my concern. Is that your cerebellum is involved, left side, nerve rings, adrenals, a little bit on the right side, and you've got enough lymph in the brain there to get brain lesions. But you know what? Don't think that way. You get your kidneys filtering, sweetheart, and get your lymph moving out of there, and you won't even have to think about it. At the same time, we'll build your nervous system up. You're already on the 14-week protocol, and get in that. Try to do that diet the best you can. If you can change the fruit that you're eating to maybe change that sort of scenario, okay. You might want to take your herbs with your foods, and you might want to get the antispasmodic formula to take with that until you can get your chronicness out of your stomach and bowels. And the antispasmodic you can take right with your other herbs. It'll strengthen your nervous system on top of acting as an antispasmodic. So that'll keep that neural spasming down. Heart arrhythmia sometimes, absolutely. This chronicness is right in the seat of the autonomic. And of course the autonomic is parasympathetic, sympathetic, heart, breathing, peristalsis, bowels movements, stuff like that. Some shortness of breath. Well, there you go. No kidding. I don't think it's just because of the pain. Your nervous system's down, honey. You got the nerve rings in your eyes, and that's that weak adrenal glands and low neurotransmitters. Hard to take a deep breath sometimes like that. That's the symptom that gives. It's most likely to happen during breakfast on an empty stomach. That's why I'm saying put a little food down your body before you take your herbs. Take your herbs with your foods, in other words. I think you're going to have a better experience with that. The likelihood of it occurring increases when I eat a larger amount of fruit. Yeah, you might want to eat small amounts more often, that's for sure. You just got a lot of lymph. I mean, good genes, pretty much a lot of lymph, a lot of sulfur. So don't get frustrated. You're going to be a couple of years. You just got a lot of lymph going on here. But what else is to do? And after you get past a certain point, that burn will go away. After you get past a certain point here, you just keep working it, keep working it, keep working it. But you can do things to cool that acidosis down. You can even do this. You can get some sodium and bicarbonate, aluminum free, remember, sodium and bicarbonate, which is bicarbonate, baking soda, and take a teaspoon per cup of water and just sip on it. And especially when you do your herbs and stuff, sip on it, and that'll help keep that neurological kick cooled down, you know. It happened when I took GI Broom with apple juice. First thing you're talking a real strong astringent. So you're gonna feel your body when it's astringed. You know, you just have some lemon and you start puckering up. You can feel that astringe on your mucosa, and that's what that GI tract formula is a lot of astringents, you know. My only remedy, I end up on the floor with a heating pad under my back until the pain subsides. Use the antispasmodic, Scarlett. That'll help you. That'll take the place of that. It gets very intense. I use peppermint essential oil on my stomach. Sometimes I get nauseated or cramping during the process. Well, look at the type of fruits you're eating. Come off the acid fruits to the subacid category in the sweet. Look at your melons. I can say that mangoes are fairly gentle, papayas are fairly gentle, watermelon is not gentle, honeydew is fairly gentle, cantaloupe is not gentle. And if you have to do green drinks, you have to do green drinks. I don't care. However you can get that. I wouldn't do vegetables, but I would do green drinks. And do your dandelion greens, your parsley, beet bulbs and stuff. And, it's just after you get past a certain point of cleaning, these symptoms won't be there anymore. But during this, you can use antispasmodics. That'll definitely help the stomach tea or the Heal All tea, whichever one you have for the stomach. A sip on it. Don't overburden the stomach with foods, because you see what happens when you do. But you've got this sulfur all through you. And that sulfur's got to come out. And I'll say this, I would probably live, Scarlett, on Parasite M, because you have got to have a lot of candida, a lot of fungal problems. I mean, that's just comes with the heavy sulfur like that. Just as heavy candida as you have the sulfur. The closest thing to fruit burn that I've ever heard any person describe on YouTube is questionnaire 154. You know what? I've heard that several times. But the problem isn't with the fruit, the problem's with your stomach. And you can see that in there. But that's okay. We'll cool everything down. Listen, try these things we're talking about, and I think you'll be quite fine. I had a BM and the pain went away. Yeah, see what I'm saying? You're chronic in that area, so that's why you always clean the GI tract, always get the kidneys filtering, always bring your glands up and on par. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the major part of your body. So you always want to get those things in line, and then everything else shifts itself in line, and health is yours. Just takes a little while to work it. I've also been struggling to keep my blood sugar stable while eating all the fruit during the program. I get shaky internally, and my hands get visibly shaking when I know my blood sugar is dropping. Yesterday it was 65 when I checked it during one of these episodes, and that's 65. 65 is considered low in normal by most labs. You buy into that? I don't buy into that. I think 65 is hypoglycemic myself, but most labs think it's within normal ranges. You're okay. No, you're not okay. I think 75 is an indication in a fasting blood sugar that you're dipping down into hypoglycemic tendencies at times. Absolutely. So, the best way, the only antidote for what you're doing, I know you've been told this before, is eat small amounts more often. That's the best way to remedy all this with you. Eat with your food. Take your herbs with your foods. Do it maybe sipping a little tea. You can take the baking soda, sodium and bicarbonate, very helpful with that. The antispasmodic with that. That's all very helpful with that. And then eat smaller meals more often and keep that blood sugar up there. It just shows you if fruit is so sugar, then how come when you eat a fruit your blood sugar doesn't soar? Now some of you brittles and some of you adrenals, all sugars make you soar. So that's the adrenal glands. Ties right back into your whole problem here, your whole scenario, and what I see in your eye. Because your eye does show chronic adrenals in both sides, definitely. And you have the nerve rings to prove it. Well, that doesn't surprise me one little bit, that you're going to see low blood sugar. Generally speaking, low blood pressure, low blood sugar. Oh, thanks very much for your suggestion. Oh, thank you, Scarlett. Love you, honey. You're doing really good. I have been experiencing bloating, candida, weight gain, adrenal stuff. I have the book, but not sure what I am doing wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. That's the mistake some people think. You're not doing a thing wrong. It's what you woke up to. It's your body and what you woke up to. You woke up to chronic bowels. You woke up to a lot of sulfur, a lot of candida. You're just what you're saying here. You know exactly what. And sulfur makes you bloaty, gassy. Oh, yeah. And on top of that, if that wasn't enough, that heavy lymph stagnation breeds high acidosis, and then edema up and above the bloating from gas. So you got several things coming down on you, Scarlett, and just relax. You're not your body. You're only using it. And you start detoxing it and taking care of it, getting it cleaned up, because you got a lot up here to drain. Because you're going to start feeling pressure up here, and already you're feeling the cerebellum. So we need to get all this out of you, get that sinus drain. Again, you need a great cold and flu-like symptom, and you'd be rocking and rolling. Oh, this is Ryan. Thanks for resubmitting your question, Ryan. I tell you, guys, if I'm not getting to your question, just submit it again. And I apologize again that I have to do it that way. But if I didn't have to still see people, and I wasn't doing the school and all the books we're writing and all the charts we're making up and all the we've got so many works here in work. If you went back and looked, I've got books started everywhere. I've got notebooks all over my house where I start going, and then something turns me away, and then I forget that one, and I start another one, and I got all kinds of things going in terms of books. I have a lot of books I want to write, but I don't know. These videos do a lot better than books, don't you think? I think they do. And it's in real time, and you can see. And that's why I want you to listen in on some of our conversations with people and stuff, and with our staff, to show you what it's like in real time to be in a clinic where we're knocking them out. There's so many people that are sick, and it's just we're all trying to keep up with it. So that's why I need each and every one of your help. And you're doing good. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I can't say it enough. I love each and every one of you guys. You're great, great souls. And don't take no for an answer. You guys are beautiful beings. Enjoy your divinity. Oh, listen, I absolutely love your work in general. Thank you. 18 years old. 18 years old. I'm 18, and ever since, and I love the fact that an 18-year-old, even this 14-year-old the other day, when a 14-year-old or an 18-year-old writes me, I just love those guys. Because I'm going back when I'm that age, I didn't have a friggin' clue. Health wasn't anything I even thought about. Of course, I never had a lot of symptoms to wake me up to that, except extreme constipation, migraines every day, sinus locked. Except for those things, I felt pretty good. Okay. 18 years old, and ever since I can remember, I have had PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Right? It runs in the family. Now, you know what really runs in the family, sweetheart, is kidney and adrenal gland problems, which leads to multiple cysts developing on the ovaries. Well, endometriosis, fibroids. I mean, let's keep on rolling down this hill. Pimples, boils, styes, tumors, swellings. Can we keep going? Just keep on going. Everything you see comes out of predominantly the acid side of chemistry and the lymphatic system, because the lymphatic system deals with the acid side of chemistry. Remember, the blood cannot. Too much acids in the blood, you're taking an early trip to your next journey. So, you've got to get your kidneys filtering, sweetheart. This is essential that you see sediment in your urine, and that you get this done, and then you'll quit popping these cysts on your ovaries. Because this is not good, because you're waking up to atypical cells. You're waking up to cervical cancer, uterine. So let's back away from all of this and get your kidneys filtering, get your adrenals up. At 18, you're going to have those genetics. I mean, it's just, the one or two in the world, you wouldn't hurt if you still did the kidney formulas. But I'm telling you, so many people have the kidneys here. Holy crap. I don't actually have cysts on my, I don't actually have cysts on my ovaries, but it have multiple follicles because of imbalanced hormones. Well, when you're looking at ovaries and uterus, then I'm going more to the pituitary than I am to the adrenals. So I would say go ahead, get your kidneys and your adrenals going. That way you don't start forming actual cysts. And at the same time, getting your steroids in balance. And the only way you can do that is make your ovaries healthy and your pituitary healthy, because you have that control of that FSH that way. So I would do the female reproductive formula if it was me for a couple months. At the same time, I'm picking up my adrenals. I'm going to look at my case though. I want to see, am I short? Is my monthly cycles on time, or am I irregular? That would lead me to the pituitary, and that would also show you some steroidal imbalances, I would also want to fix up my adrenals, because same steroids over next door, so I want to fix those up too. I want to do some douching for a couple of weeks and clean that vaginal wall so I don't get atypical cells. And if I have them, I know it's going to turn them around. See where I'm going with that? I'm sick of being plagued with symptoms of excess hair growth. Whoa, okay. So this acne, so your acidic steroids are out of balance, and your corticosteroids are low probably. Your progesterones are low, your estrogen, and by the way, this hair growth suggestive of higher levels of testosterone. Yeah, you wouldn't want that. So you want to, getting your adrenals healthy, bring steroids in balance. The only thing I can say is there's no magic scale to balance anything. You have to accept the fact that God made all this and that it'll go into balance in a healthy state. Because that's the only way you can live. Because there's anybody who makes charts on this using what? The mind. And it's a conditioned state. And if you're going to say, I use my mind or I use God, even though the mind is God, but you know what I'm saying in that scenario? I'm going to go to the higher source. I'm not going to go into the little mind where I'm working with theories and guessing and things like that. Sometimes theories and guessing has killed a lot of people. And we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Okay, so this person, she's got excessive hair growth, which reaps of testosterone, the same with acne. But again, if you didn't have a lymph system that was backed up, you wouldn't have the acne. Even if your estrogen or testosterone was a little higher, filling the body with more acids, it still wouldn't create that, because there's got to be waste in acids to see a symptom. She's back pain. And again, you might want to work on those neurolymphatic points, but you want to get your kidneys filtering. And get your adrenals up, honey. And then go after your glands. You can use the endocrine gland formula. If you use the female reproductive formula, it has herbs in there for the pituitary. So I would definitely use the female reproductive. It'll bring you into balance. And it'll bring that my female reproductive formula is more of a progesterone formula, if you had to say it was either one. I tried not to deal with any steroids thinking, because I wanted something that tones and makes cells healthy. A tonic-like thing. But with that said, if you looking at the herbs in it, you'll see that it's more of a progesterone than an estrogenic formula. I don't use black cohoshes unless there is vaginal dryness, and that would be an adrenal weakness, and that would be generally when the ovaries are shut down or a hysterectomy. Unpredictable menses. Now, this is pituitary. You have a pituitary. I'm telling you, never looking at what you're saying here, I see pituitary. So female reproductive, if that isn't strong enough to fix the pituitary and everything else, then you got to go to a pituitary glandular or use our herbal pituitary formula. But I have to submit that reaps of congestion in the sinuses and in the head area. So you want to drain your lymphatic system, get your kidneys filtering, your adrenals up, of course, and get your lymph moving down your back, out of your head, and everything else. Depression. So here we go. We've got an unpredictable menses, so we know we got a pituitary problem, but we also know that your pituitary controls your thyroid, parathyroid, your adrenals, and everybody in between. Thymuses, pancreases, and the like. So, depression is a parathyroid weakness, and this is one you want to fix. You're only 18 years old, and this deals with your bones. I don't know if you had any growing pains, you know, that old growing pain syndrome where you had pains in your legs, but you want to fix a depression for an 18-year-old. we need to get your parathyroid up, but your pituitary could be sitting down on it. So you want to get a picture of your eyes sometime to us and let us look at that. But I can tell you, depression is parathyroid, anxiety is adrenals, insulin problems, that's going back to the beta cells. Now, when you say insulin problems, you'll have to give me a lot more about that than just saying insulin problems, because that's a hormone. It is controlled by the pituitary, but it is produced in the beta cells in the islets of Langerhans and the pancreas. And fungal infections, well, that makes sense, because anybody that has weak adrenals has fungus problems. Now, here's another one, dandruff. That tells me everything right there. What is dandruff? This stuff. This stuff. That's a cup of urine with acid filtration in it, and dandruff is that. And you see dandruff when this is not present in your urine, because when your urine is clear, you've lost your filtration from your kidneys, and now your skin has to wear the burden. And think, when your thyroid is down and your skin can't sweat, now you're locked. And those people experience the fibromyalgias, the lupus, the Lymes, and all that type of extreme systemic acidosis, arthritis, and things like this. And you're locked in there. All these acids are locked in your body. That's why when you start opening the doors and these acids come out, you feel better. Your limbs turn to normal. Everything starts rebuilding itself and realigning itself. Incredible. It's a God thing. When you see what the body can do, when you get people up on these high levels of health and vitality, you become a God lover. It is hard not to. I also have hypothyroidism. Do you think? Exactly. It goes right with parathyroidism. Here's the problem. Do we have a weakness in the thyroid and parathyroid individually? Or do we have a weakness in the pituitary that's slamming those two? You'll only know that with eyes. We know the pituitary is involved for sure. We know your thyroid is involved for sure. We know your parathyroid is involved for sure. We know your adrenals are involved for sure. If you are having insulin problems, we know your pancreas, which is that endocrine gland, is involved for sure. See where we're going? The list goes on and on. I'm estrogen dominant. Well, I think you're also testosterone dominant. I really do. And have really high testosterone. I can read on. And have really high testosterone levels. My LH and my FSH are messed up. That's the pituitary, though. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, you know, and your lutein's. So this is, again, this is all pituitary involved. But also, then that, of course, leads you to what's going on up here, you know. Do you have just a lot of lymph going on, a lot of sinus congestion and stuff? What's going on up there? And so that's where the eyes are valuable. But I can tell you, it's always lymph. So you want to drain, you know, you need a good cold and flu-like symptom. You know, that's what cleans our upstairs. How do I balance my hormones? You do this by making your tissues healthy. If you try man's way, you screw yourself up. You want to make your nature's way. And nature's way is by eating foods that are balanced in their chemistry, foods that are dominant on the base side, which is naturally coming in your fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables. Naturally occurring perfect pH balances. Yeah, there's some you're probably radically off, but you know, for the most part. You want to change your diet to a raw food diet. You want to get your kidneys filled. You use the herbs now to go anywhere you want to go. They'll drive your car wherever you want to go. You want to go to the pancreas, you got a formula for it, or herbs for it, however you look at that. You got kidneys, you got herbs for that. You got nervous system, you got herbs. Isn't that beautiful? You can't say that in supplements. You can't say that in pharmaceutical worlds. Cool stuff. My hair is falling out. That doesn't mean hypothyroidism. Your hair is falling out because of your lymph system, not from the thyroid. The connection that you see between hypothyroidism and hair falling out, because there's no connection from the thyroid to the lymph system. And of course, that's connected to all your problems, your pituitary and everything else. Your dandruff, You're very acidic underneath, so your hair follicles are breaking down. I mean, this is just all what's going on. Upper circulation. Maintain upper circulation. Keep that blood flowing in your head so it'll go better blood flow through pituitary, hair follicles, and everywhere else. So get that upper circ, and I would add brain and nerve number 2. With that said, I would do the 14-week protocol if you can afford it. Get on with that, but get on that female reproductive formula also. That will help bring you into balance there. You can use glandulars for pituitary, thyroids and stuff, but I want to see if that female reproductive will work for your pituitary. But you want to get your parathyroid up as well. That one, I use a parathyroid glandular. I only use 2 bottles. 1 3 times a day I use with the bones formula. Then everything starts strengthening and rebuilding. I know you don't agree with supplements, but I take zinc because if I don't, I burn within minutes. I don't agree with that. And that's the problem. Zinc will only suppress you and you'll burn more and you'll burn more and you'll burn more. You don't want to do that. And if you're deficient in zinc, it's only your adrenal steroids you're deficient in, not in the foods. I wouldn't take that. I would use herbs or even aloe. I would use anything else other than a metal to balance my, to act as an anti-inflammatory. In other words, I have to tell you, because you'll unbalance your minerals, and you can use, there's other things you can use. You know, slippery elm, marshmallow, things like that. Mullein, all anti-inflammatory. It's strange because I have darker skin, but I don't even think albinos burn this fast. Well, your skin pigmentation, all of this is coming out of your pituitary, sweetheart, so you got to get that pituitary under control. That's the problem. The other problem on this is you're already too acidic under the skin. So your body is very acidic. And when you go into the sun, which is acidic, so acid on top of acid is chemotherapy on top of cancer. Same thing. Nobody would think of being so hot and burning with acids they can go out in the sun and think they're going to enjoy that experience. It's going to hurt them. And they're going to start popping basal cells because you're burning, burn, double burn. Well, that's what chemo is, a double burn, but much more aggressive burn. Let me see. I have underdeveloped breasts. Okay, so here we go. That's cholesterol, and that's in your pituitary. Again, you have marked pituitary problems here. Get your adrenals up and get your pituitary up now, and you'll catch up with your breast growth. As a matter of fact, the female reproductive formula should increase the growth of your breast size. This drives me insane. Can I fix this? Absolutely. Absolutely. But you got to fix your glands, your hormones, and steroids. That's where you're off. Is detox enough to fix it? Remember, detox is a regenerative procedure. It's a regenerative movement. It is a movement toward Wellville, a movement of removing those obstructions in the body that are burning you, that are breaking you down. Neurotoxins, excitotoxins, acids, proteins, all these things like that are stored in the body because the body couldn't get rid of them because the lymph system wasn't filtering, so it had to store it. Same reason it creates tumors. Now you're opening the doors. Now the body sees light at the end of the tunnel and off it's going to go. So it's going to start detoxifying itself. You can't stop it. Well, you can stop it by going back and eating crap again, but nobody wants to do that. Not in really grow spiritually and have fun in their lives and, you know, get out of this negative evilness that's here now. We must turn on the light switch, and only you guys can help me do it. We're turning on the light switch to this planet, and the negative forces, like it or not. Now, what do we have here? Can I fix this? Yeah. And I find this strange because I have high estrogen, initial estrogen responsive for breast growth. No, still bestrol. Still bestrol. The medical doctors used to give it to men with prostate cancer. And it's this corticosteroid, but it makes your breast grow. So men started developing breasts like women. And I have the worst dark circles under my eyes. They look purple. 18 years old with major kidneys. This is your kidney, sweetheart, and that's what I'm telling you. At 18 years old, you guys are beat up bad genetically. So you want to go after your kidneys with all thought. Make your kidneys healthy. Stay away from proteins. The only way you're going to get rid of these dark circles is make your kidneys healthy. Make your body healthy, sweetheart. Get all your glands balanced out. You'll be okay. Go to the Facebook. There's a lot of good healers there. A lot of people helping. You got the clinic here. So whatever you need, you got plenty of people, I think, now. And thank God we can say there's a lot of great YouTubers out there cleaning up people. I love this. It's just, the spiritual, it's our time. It's the spiritual people's time to shine, and we're going to shine. Is this from the adrenals? No, this is your kidney. That's kidney weakness. Well, adrenals go with it. Yeah, absolutely. Here's an interesting thing. As I changed my diet to be better and better, my hair went from being straight to curly within a year. Is that strange? What about the lady that had salt and pepper hair and went to pepper and then it went to blonde? So she had gray and black because her hair was black, she thought, but she was born blonde. So does chemistry change the color of your hair? Does acidosis change colors of your hair? It sure did on her, because after we started detoxifying her and we got deep into the body, she had T-cell lymphoma, 3 months or so gone. But what she went through was amazing. Salt and pepper to black, starting to turn blonde. That's a good one for you. It is fascinating to what chemistry has changed and done to the human body. So as you guys take your worlds deep into the Wellville, boy, you're going to see some fascinating things. So write your books. Here's another thing. You guys start writing your books, or start making your diaries, because people need to hear more of the fact that they have an opportunity to find Wellville. And you guys are the beautiful beings that are helping this. So write yourself a book. Don't have to be a big book. A little book, so what? Be fun, Okay, so isn't that funny? Went to curly hair, which is more healthy. A cooked vegetable diet. It's amazing how things change with food, ain't it? Sorry for the so much. I'm grateful. No, shoot, no. Love you, sweetheart. You guys, you know what? We're here for all of you, and we'll do our level best to take care of everyone. And all you YouTubers are with me. We're all helping. And so, good job. Good job. 5 gold stars to each and every one of you, and a big hug from me. And a bunch of spiritual masters also grinning too. So have fun on this journey. You all are so great. And we're not fading, but we are working hard. So I love you all. Take care of yourselves and keep on beating the pavement, because you guys are just incredible beings. I'm a real pleasure and a privilege to work with each and every one of you. Thank you all for all your hard work on yourselves, and love yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. You deserve it. And take care of yourselves, each and every one of you. Some of you have gotten helping others so much that you don't help yourselves. Some of you don't feel you're worthy of helping yourself. Don't ever feel that way. You are the light of God, each and every one of you, and you deserve to feel it and feel the love. And so we're all here to help each other. May the blessings be, and namaste, my dear ones. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.